Good day, everyone, and good day also to our beautiful instructor, Miss Dalia J. Perog. And now, we welcome you all to our topic entitled
The Reproductive System
and Its Parts. By the way, this is Angel Rose Esmeralda, your reporter number 1 from BS at 1, Black 1.
And I am Mylene A. Evardo from BS Ed 1, Block 1, your reporter number 2.
To start with, let us know what is the reproductive system. The reproductive system is a collection of organs in the network of hormone production that work together to create life.
And what is the main function of human reproductive system? Within the context of producing offspring, the reproductive system has 4 functions. First is to produce egg and sperm cells.
Next, to transport and sustain these cells.
Third is to nurture and developing offspring.
And lastly, to produce hormones.
The male reproductive system is mostly located outside of the body. The boys can relate it. These external organs include the penis, scrotum, and testicles. Internal organs include the vas deferens, prostate, and the urethra. The male reproductive system is responsible for sexual function as well as urination. And these reproductive organs has the following job. First is to produce and maintain transport sperm, the male reproductive cells, and semen, the protective fluid around the sperm. Second, they discharge sperm into the female reproductive tract. And lastly, they produce and secrete male sex hormones. The male reproductive system is made up of internal, inside your body, and external, outside your body parts. Together with these organs, help you to urinate, rid your body of liquid waste materials, have sexual intercourse, and make children. How does the male reproductive system function? The entire male reproductive system is dependent on hormones. These are chemicals that simulate or regulate the activity of your cell or organs. The primary hormone involved in functioning of the male reproductive system are follicle stimulating hormone or the FSH, luteinizing hormone or LH, and testosterone. FHS and LH are produced by the pituitary gland. It's located at the base of your brain and it's responsible for many functions in your body. This is Mylene A. Evardo, and my task is to discuss the male reproductive system. And I'm going to show you the male reproductive organ and its parts. The male reproductive organ has urinary bladder, ureter, body cavity, erectile tissue, urethra, glans penis, scrotum, testis, epididymis, vas deferens, prostate gland, semivesicle, and the rectum. And now let's move on to the parts of the male reproductive organ and its function. First is the bladder. The bladder stores urine, allowing urination to be infrequent and controlled. Next is the urinary bladder. The urinary bladder is a muscular sac in the pelvis, just above and behind the pubic bone. When empty, the bladder is about the size and shape of a pear. So, do you familiar with the fruit pears? That's what the urinary bladder size if it is empty. And now let's move on to the testicles, or also known as testes. So the testes are responsible for making testosterone, the primary male sex hormone. So the testes is the primary male sex hormones, and it is responsible for producing sperm. And also, the testes are oval organs about the size of very large olives that lie in the scrotum, secured at either end by a structure called the spermatic cord. Most men have the two testes. Of course, the testes are responsible for making testosterone, as what I've said earlier. Within the testes are coiled masses of tubes called seminiferous tubules. These tubules are responsible for producing the sperm cells through a process called spermatogenesis. Next is the scrotum. Scrotum functions as the bag of skin that holds and helps to protect the testicles. The scrotum is the loose sponge little sack of skin that hangs behind the penis. It holds the testicles, also called testes, as well as many nerves and blood vessels. The scrotum protects your testes as well as providing a sort of climate control system. For normal sperm development, the testes must be at a temperature slightly cooler than the body temperature. Special muscles in the wall of scrotum allow it to contract, tighten, and relax, moving the testicles closer to the body for warmth and protection for farther away from the body to cool and the temperature. Next is erectile tissue. Erectile tissue is any tissue that is capable of stiffening or engorging with blood. Urethra. So the urethra is a tube that carries urine from the bladder to outside of your body. In males, it has the additional function of expelling, ejaculating semen with you reach orgasm. When the penis is erect during sex, the flow of urine is blocked from the urethra, allowing only semen to be ejaculated at orgasm. And that's the urethra functions. Next is the glans penis. Glans penis can be described as the rounded head or tip of the penis. It is a tube through which semen and urine exit the body. Next is penis. Penis is the organ used for urination and sexual intercourse. It has three parts. The root. This is the part of the penis that attaches the wall of your abdomen. The body or shaft, shaped like a tube or a cylinder. The body of the penis is made up of three internal chambers. Inside these chambers are sponge-like erectile tissue that contain thousands of large spaces that fill with blood, with your sexually aroused. As the penis fills with blood, it becomes rigid and erect, which allows for penetration during sex. The skin of the penis is loose and elastic, allowing for the changes in penis size during erection. Next is the epididymis. Epididymis is a long coiled tube that rests on the backside of each testicle. It carries and stores sperm cells that are created in the testes. It is also the job of the epididymis to bring the sperm to maturity. The sperm that emerge from the testes are immature and incapable of fertilization. During sexual arousal, contractions force the sperm to the vas deferens. So what is the vas deferens? The vas deferens functions as it transports mature sperm to the urethra in preparation of ejaculation. It is also a muscular tube that travels from the epididymis into the pelvic cavity to just behind the bladder. Next is the prostate gland. The prostate's primary function is to produce the fluid that nourishes and transports sperm or the seminal fluid. It also a walnut-sized structure that's located below the urinary bladder in front of the rectum. The prostate gland contributes additional fluid to ejaculation. Prostate fluids to help nourish sperm. The urethra, which carries the ejaculation to be expelled during orgasm, runs through the center of prostate gland. Lastly, the seminal vesicles. The seminal vesicles, also known as the vesicular or seminal glands, are a pair of glands found in the male pelvis, which function to produce many of the constituent ingredients of semen. They ultimately provide around 70% of total volume of semen. It has a sac-like pouches that attach to the vas deferens near the base of the bladder. The seminal vesicle make a sugar-rich fluid, fructus, that provides sperm with a source of energy and helps with the sperm's ability to move or motility. The fluid of the seminal vesicles makes up the most of the volume of your ejaculatory fluid or ejaculate. And that's all for the male reproductive system and its parts, as well as its functions.
Okay, so thank you, by the way, to my partner for discussing about the male reproductive system. And now it's my turn. So this is Angel Rose Esmeralda speaking, and I am going to discuss the female reproductive system. So as you can see, this is the parts of female reproductive system, which it includes uterus, the ovary, the vagina, fallopian tube, and the cervix. Okay, so starts with its part. First is the uterus. So what is uterus? So uterus, also called womb and inverted pear-shaped muscular organ of the female reproductive system located between the bladder and the rectum. Okay, so what is the function of the uterus? So the function of the uterus include nurturing the fertilized ovum that develops into the fetus and holding it till the baby is mature enough for birth. The fertilized ovum gets implanted into the endometrium and derives nourishment from blood vessels which develop inclusively for this purpose. So, in the function to nourish and house a fertilized egg until the fetus or offspring is ready to be delivered. Okay, so that's it for the uterus. And next is the ovary. So, what does it mean by ovary? Okay, the ovaries are a pair of ova-producing organs, that is, they produce egg cells that maintain the health of the female reproductive system. So, the function of the ovary is to generate and release female gametes, that is, the eggs that combine with sperm to create a fetus. Ovaries also release many vital hormones. And next is the fallopian tube. So the fallopian tube are tubes that stretch from the ovaries to the uterus in the human female reproductive system. Overview: the uterine tubes, also known as oviducts or fallopian tubes, are the female structures that transport the ova from the ovary to the uterus each month. In the presence of sperm and fertilization, the uterine tubes transport the fertilized egg to the uterus for implantation. Next is the cervix. So, the cervix is the lower, narrow end of the uterus that forms a canal between the uterus and vagina. On the other hand, the cervix acts as the door to the uterus, which sperm can travel through to fertilize eggs. When your body is not carrying a child, your cervix helps keep unhealthy things out of your body, like toxins and bath water. When you're pregnant, the cervix helps keep the baby in place until it's fully developed. Okay, the last of the parts of the female reproductive is the vagina. Okay, the vagina is a muscular canal that extends from the vulva to the neck of the uterus or cervix. The vagina is a muscular canal that extends from the vulva to the neck of the uterus. The vagina is where the lining of the uterus is shed during menstruation, where penetration can occur during sex, and where a baby descends during childbirth.
And now for the last and final look, please allow us to show again the picture of the male and female reproductive organ and its parts. So this is the male reproductive organ.
And next is the parts of female reproductive system.
And that would be all. Thank you for watching. Keep safe and God bless.